Hello guys, let's make a short pants together. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. You're welcome to Done by Precious YouTube channel. So in today's video, we're going to be drafting a short pant, cutting and sewing it. So I already drew some line, my waistline to my hip line, 8 inches. My crouch line, to get my crouch line, I divided my hip measurement by 4. So just divide your hip measurement by 4, you get your crouch line. So from my crouch line, I got the length of my short. So on my hip line, we're going to be placing my hip measurement. So I divided my hip measurement by 4 and I added 1 inch allowance to it. From that point, I'm going to use my ruler to make a straight line to the waistline as shown. So here it is. On the crouch line, I am going to divide my lap measurement, my lap circumference by 2. So if your lap circumference is 23, divide it by 2, and what you have, add 1 inch to it. So that was what I did. I divided my lap circumference by 2 and I added 1 inch on the crouch line. So I am going to connect from the hip to the crouch. You can use your free hand, but I'll be using this pattern master for mine. So here is the curve. Now, on the length of the short, I am going to divide my lap circumference by 2. So divide it by 2, do not add any allowance to it. So I'm going to input my lap circumference divided by 2. So now I'm going to connect from the crouch to the length of my short as shown. So now this is it. This is our measurement. Now on the waistline, we'll be coming to that waist part and I'm going to be taking my waist measurement divided by 4. I will divide my waist measurement by 4. I had 7.5 inches and I'm going to add 1 inch for my darts. We're going to be adding darts to this short. If you do not want that, this is optional. You can skip that part. So I'm going to connect from the waist to the hip as shown. Now from this part, facing the crouch part, on this waistline, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. So I'm going to come down by 1 inch as shown and I'm going to slant my ruler to the waistline. I'm just going to label this as my front pant and we're going to be cutting this out. Now this is the front pant. I'm going to place this front pant on a fresh panther paper and I'm going to be adding all my allowances. On the waistline, I came out by 2 inches. On the hip line, I came out by 2 inches. On the crouch line, I came out by 2 inches. If you're on the bigger side, you can do 2.5 or 3 inches. On the length of the short, I came out by 2 inches. So this is the allowance we're going to be adding. Now I'm going to use my ruler to connect all the lines together. Having done that, on the waistline, I'm going to come up with my measurement tape. I'm going to come up by 1.5 inch. So we're going to be adding 1.5 inch for the back of this short to accommodate our bottom very well. So I'm going to extend that line we drew earlier and I'm going to be connecting it to the waistline. So I'm going to use my ruler and make a slant, then connect it to the waistline. The part where the hip is located, we did not add any allowance to it, so we're already adding allowance to the crouch part. So there's no allowance at that part where the hip is. So we're going to be cutting this out. So here is our back pant. Now I will be using this pattern to cut on my fabric, and when cutting, make sure your fabric is on fold, so you have 2 pieces each for both the back and the front. I did not add any allowance to my fabric. If you want to add half of an inch to yours, that's optional. So this is the back and the front, and I have 4 pieces, 2 each for the back and the front. So here is the front part of my pant. I am going to open this up, and I'll fold it from the hip part to the crouch part. I'll fold it to 2 equal halves as shown, and I'll be imputing my dart as shown. So I'll be doing this for the other front pant as well. I'm going to fold it to 2 equal halves, and I'm going to impute my dart at the middle part as shown. So I'll be doing this for the back as well. So after imputing my dart on the back and the front, we're going to be adding our pockets. So I came in by 2 inches towards the hip side, not the crouch side, the hip side, and I came down by 7 inches, and this is where our pocket is going to be. So I'm going to connect from that 2 inches to the 7 inches downwards. Now after connecting, this is what it looks like, and I'll be cutting this out. So after cutting this out, we're going to be using our pocket. So this pocket is 13.5 inches by 15.5 inches wide. The depth is 13.5 inches, the width is 15.5. So I'm going to place the front on one part of the pocket. This is the wrong side, do not forget. So I'm placing it, making sure it is equal. So we're going to be using the front part to cut out our pocket. So the same way I cut out the pocket, the pattern on the pocket for the front part is how I'm going to do it for this pocket pieces. So don't forget, these pocket pieces I have is 2. So I have 2 for each pocket. So this is the pocket part. Do not mistake it. This other part is the crouch. So do not sew your pocket on your crouch, because your pant is going to come out badly. So this is the pocket part, and we're going to be placing one part of the pocket right sides facing to the front pant. So I'm going to make sure it is right sides facing to each other. I am going to place it as shown, making sure it is equal. Then I'll be using my pin to hold this in place. For the other side of the pant, I'm still going to place the pocket piece on it as shown, and I will use my pin to hold it in place. Then I'll take this to my sewing machine and sew with half of an inch. Then I'll open this up. After sewing, I'll make a top stitch on both parts of this pant. Now after making a top stitch, this is what I have on my pant. So this is it after sewing and making a top stitch. Now I'm going to be flipping this. So I'll flip this to the wrong side, and I'm going to close up my pocket. So this is just easy to do. Just flip it and also close the sides of the pocket. I'm going to stitch it down so it doesn't move. I'll be doing it for the 2. So after stitching this down, this is what I have, and this is the back, the wrong side of our pocket. So I am going to take the back part of my pant, place it right sides facing to the front part. So I'm taking the front part and the back part, I'm placing them right sides facing. So just take one part of the back pants, place it on one part of the front pant, making sure that the crouches are facing each other. Then I'm going to sew this hip side with half of an inch. So I'm going to make sure everything is equal and sew it with half of an inch. So if there's any question, you can ask. So after sewing this parts together, So you can see I have one part of the back and one part of the front. I'm going to place the other part together as shown, and I'll close the front part where we have the pocket with 1/2 inch. Now after closing it, I'm going to place my tape rule on that 1/2 inch we sewed, and I'm going to mark my waist measurement with no allowance, no extra inches. So I'm going to mark my hip measurement. I'll come down by 8 inches to get my hip side. You know, we have hip side for this pant, and I'm going to impute my hip measurement. So I'm just coming down, making sure that part is where I have my hip, and I'm going to take my hip measurement divided by 2. So this is on fold, so you divide it by 2. So I'm going to mark from the waist to the hip and also to the crouch. When going towards the crouch, make sure it is 1/2 inch. Do not go too much. So I'm going to sew this to the waistline. Now after sewing, you can see we have some excess. We're going to be trimming this excess out. Do not trim everything. Still leave some inches on it. So now after trimming, this is what it looks like. So I'm going to open this up, and you can see the pant is taking shape. So I'm going to place the crouches together, the front and the back. So I'm going to place them together, making sure everything is equal. I'm going to sew this with 1/2 inch. After sewing with 1/2 inch, this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to flip this to the right side. I'll be flipping it to the right side, and I'll be showing you what next I'm going to do. So after flipping it to the right side, I went ahead to open one side of the pant. So I opened one side. It could be the right or the left. Just open one side of the pant. So I opened the right side, and this is my band. The width of my band is 4 inches. On fold is going to be 2 inches. And the length of this band is my waist circumference plus 4 inches allowance. So I'm going to be placing this band on the waistline, and I'm going to be sewing this round. I'll take it to my sewing machine. I'm going to be sewing it round as you see me placing it. I'm just going to sew this round. If you want to add interfacing to your band, you can do that. So when it gets to the end of this pant, I am going to impute I'm going to be sewing my zipper after adding my band, and I'll be folding the bottom part of this pant. So I'll be doing that. So after doing this, this is what it looks like after adding my zipper and my band. This is the finished result, and I also folded the bottom part of this. So I'm going to take this and give it a very good press, and I'll show you what it looks like on me. So I hope this tutorial was very helpful. Please do not forget to subscribe. Also leave a nice comment, and I hope you'll be able to try this out and you're going to have something as good as this. So this is what it looks like on me. Please give this video a thumbs up, leave a nice comment, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing and supporting my channel. I will be seeing you in my next video. Do have a nice day. Bye.